These talks are brought to you by Claritax Books and are proudly sponsored by 6 Forward Capital Allowances.
Hi, and welcome to the next in our series of Capital Allowances talks. Last week we started to look at the very important Section 23 of the Capital Allowances Act 2001, and we're going to stick with that section this week as there are more aspects that are worth bringing out. As we noted last week, Section 23 contains List C, and items included in that list are unaffected by the restrictions in Sections 21 and 22 for buildings and structures respectively. Item 1 at List C covers machinery, including devices for providing motive power. Going back to first principles, allowances are available for plant or machinery. Whilst the definition of plant is notoriously imprecise, it's usually fairly clear whether or not an item constitutes machinery. So in practice, all machinery can qualify for allowances without worrying about case law definitions of plant. Even in relation to the meaning of machinery, though, a little research can pay dividends. HMRC guidance is found in various different places, but I've tried to bring it together in my book, The A to Z of Plant and Machinery. For instance, we can see that HMRC acknowledge that you may find machinery in places where you might not expect it. For example, door handles with moving parts are machinery. In other words, a door does not itself qualify as plant, but a claim may well be possible for part of the overall cost. And in the CGT manual, HMRC accept that antique clocks and watches are regarded as machinery for CGT purposes, so there's no reason why they should not be so regarded for capital allowances purposes as well. So much for machines. We can't realistically go through every item of List C, but I would like to focus on one more to bring out an important distinction. We saw 2 weeks ago that Section 22 denies allowances not only for structures, but also for any works involving the alteration of land. However, Item 22 disapplies that restriction if the land alteration is for the purpose only of installing plant or machinery. As I've said, HMRC commentary on capital allowances can be found in some weird and wonderful places, and in this case we can turn to HMRC guidance for the pig industry. HMRC there state that the cost of levelling land in order to provide a stable base for a heavy machine would qualify, but the cost of levelling land in order to lay a hard standing or a foundation for a building would not qualify. The word only here can be important. Is the land altered only for the purposes of installing plant or machinery, or is there some other purpose as well? This is a major issue in practice for those installing wind turbines, for example, where substantial costs may be incurred in putting roads in place across large areas of desolate land. If those roads are needed only for the installation of the plant in question, a claim may be possible. But if the roads are needed also for the subsequent operation of the plant, then it would appear that no claim can be made. There is, of course, plenty more that could be said about List C, but it's time to move on. Next week, we'll talk about integral features, and after that, we'll start on the huge topic of fixtures in property, which will keep us gainfully occupied for many weeks. Thank you for watching, and see you again next week. I'm Ray Chidell, and this talk was brought to you by Claritax Books and sponsored by 6 Forward, an independent property tax consultancy working with accountants to enhance capital allowances for their clients.